How you going today, guys? My name is Kilk and welcome to my breakdowns. It became pretty well known that 100 Thieves dominate the pistol rounds. In their LCQ run for champs, they won 24 out of 34 pistol rounds faced, so that's just over 70%. So how do they do it? Today, I want to break down the 4 out of 6 pistol rounds they won in their grand final match versus the Guard. And without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off on Icebox with 100 Thieves on defense, and their defense setups are all pretty standard, with the toxic screen on A, the trademark in kitchen, and also the poison cloud in a fantastic spot on default. The Guard are posturing up for a B execute, with 4 players sitting inside the brim smoke waiting to go out. Now the 0 point comes out and it sees no one at yellow, which means it's likely that the defenders are playing more passively, probably on site. Bang is jiggling this corner and gets confirmation that it's going to be a B hit, so he puts up his poison cloud and dumps his snake bite on default. Now that does a couple of things. One, it delays the plant and allows the rest of his team to start rotating towards B to help out. And 2, it actually sections the side off quite nicely. No one can push through here and in fact funnels everyone else out into backside if they want to take that space. I want you to take a look at how well thought out this play is by 100 Thieves. You can see on the map that someone has actually pinged the spot where they believe that they will funnel into. And in fact, the defenders actually start spamming through the smoke before Net is even in this position. Now, Net tries to counter spam, however, unfortunately he gets taken down. In my opinion, Net overextends massively and ends up dying first. Without the toxic screen, it makes the post plant really difficult for the attackers. Now, where have we seen that before?
Indeed. Now the wall gets broken, but Shroud, he's still alive for a minute as he swings out.
The timing!
What a bait by Trent!
Derek is super aware of the potential flank and actually ends up winning that duel against Sayer player. And without their toxic screen or their flank, it makes it really difficult for them to plant, and it's an easy cleanup for the 100 Thieves. I believe the play for the Guard was to use the wall to get onto site. Drop the brim smokes here and also at orange, as that funnels players into this area because you don't want to push smokes dry. You can actually see before Net has gone down, he's dropped his wall. From there, if you get spike down and brim mollies off this area, it actually burns a lot of time. Plenty of time for your chamber to come up through flank under tube and contest these 2 areas. As soon as the brim smokes fade, you should have a lot of fuel left and you can put your wall back up. And this makes it really hard for the defenders to retake the site. Moving on to the 100 Thieves attacking pistol round, and they have 4 people posturing up towards A with Bang watching the flank. Now I want to talk about these Viper walls. Bang's wall comes across diagonally like this, and what this does is it denies any safe passage from heaven to come out to the right because they'd have to push the wall. It also means that anyone who wants to push from 410 or up through maze has to push through the wall as well. Compare that to the generic wall you see in ranked that comes across like this. Once they get past it, they can retake way easier because they can safely go in any direction from rafters or through 410 or up through maze. Now Net's wall, in my opinion, is also very good. If 100 Thieves want to plant at any of the default spots here, here, or with the Sage wall here, with Net's wall up, it actually allows the retake to come in way easier as they can come up through here or through 410. Furthermore, if 100 Thieves want to contest the retake, they have to be really pushed up and in spots where it makes it really difficult for them to be traded because this wall is essentially cutting off all lines of sight. Also, with the poison cloud and snakebite combination, it makes the Sage wall and plant really difficult and denies a lot of time. So at this point, there's still 4 members of 100 Thieves towards A, with Bang watching the flank, and neither team are really giving each other anything. Now the Fade Haunt comes through, and importantly, only one person shoots it, and that's so as not to give away how many people are actually here. However, KO gets a really big 0 point and tags 3 members of 100 Thieves, so that pretty much gives away their intention. 100 Thieves get ready to execute with the 0 point and the recon bolt coming through. They see 3 and Bang's already started to flank up through mid. With this amount of noise and util used and only 35 seconds left on the clock, surely this is gonna be the execute, right? It causes the Brimstone to rotate through CT, mainly because he has no control of what's in mid, and 100 Thieves decide to make a last second pivot towards B. Now Saya player has an awesome opportunity to win the round out right here. He gets a kill on the lurking bang near orange. Time is running low and he can hear two people running up B long. All he has to do is deny or delay the plant and they've won the round. Now I appreciate hindsight is 2020 and unfortunately he swings out to the right of yellow instead of the left. In my opinion, had he just held the default angle trying to deny or slow down the planter, he could have won the round for them. Instead, he gets an ordinary timing with Asuna already watching his rendezvous. It's a 4v3 retake for the guard and Asuna has complete kitchen control. This forces a member from the guard to actively watch it, which burns precious time off their retake. Now the retake's about to come through, however Net is so far back and Valen's still watching out for that kitchen swing. Asuna's able to get one and can hear the remaining two players come out through Snowman. This contact from Asuna causes the Sova and the Sage to swing out at the same time to get any more trades coming through. And if you look closely, both players are actually facing towards Asuna, trying to get the trade, which allows the remaining 100 Thieves players to get an awesome timing on the swing. From there, it's a pretty easy 3v1. Moving on to the second map, Fracture, and 100 Thieves are starting on defense. If you look at the initial setup from the guard, they're in really passive positions. Now 100 Thieves have played Fracture twice before in the LCQ, once versus Sentinels and one versus Cloud9. And both times on pistol defense, 100 Thieves get aggressive where the breach is, which is why I think the guard are hanging so far back as soon as the round begins. They're expecting an aggressive push. Also important to note, in those games, Chamber uses trademark on the site where he was at, which only had the two remaining players defending. It's looking like a split A execute from the guard and Derek ends up flashing this wall so that Asuna can swing wide and clear this corner in case he got hard timinged. Meanwhile, because there's been no action over at B, Stella ends up taking a really turtley position on top of platform. Asuna gets pinged here and with the initial 0 point coming up through Dish and all the breach util coming from Sands, it's pretty safe to assume there may be at least 3 players here. The guard are creeping up through Dish and importantly they don't see a trademark as they get into position for their execute to begin. Jonah P spots Derek jump spotting through door as the Fade Prowler latches onto him, while Net's fault line has come from drop and concuss Asuna in main. Now this A main smoke from the guard may seem a little bit counterintuitive because it sections off their own Fade and Chamber. But the play here is with Asuna potentially concussed and smoked off, he's unable to contest anyone that's coming out of drop. And if he does decide that he wants to push the smoke, then Saya player is on the other side waiting for the punish. The Fade and Chamber's job is to apply pressure through door into Sand, with one person holding a potential swing from Neon. Now this further helps the players coming out of drop because the player at Sands will have to deal with the threat coming at him. Unfortunately, with the KO left unchecked, both the Neon and the Breach swing and get another one each. With the spike falling on top of drop, it's left in a 5v2 cleanup. Now you may be thinking, what the hell happened to the Fade and Chamber in A main? Well, Derek actually flashed into A main off the noise, and the timing was superb. It discoordinated the entire execute and forces the Fade and the Chamber to hang back slightly longer, and they have to. If Net's fault line missed and they're sitting here blind and in the open, Asuna can easily swing out and just clean up. On to the last map of Haven, and 100 Thieves are posturing up for an A execute. Now this boombot lineup is used to clear out sewers, as well as this smoke is used to deny any information from the players up along. 100 Thieves know that there is potential for the Fade Raise or the Fade Raise Breach combo, so they smartly hang back and wait for it to come through. Now, because they've actually had to delay those few seconds, they don't know if any players have pushed out of long. So Derek throws a Prowler out to clear long, and they know sewers is still clear because the boombot never tagged anyone. Both members of the guard back up and head towards sewers. I want you to pay close attention to Net. He's been looking in this direction for the past few seconds now, and based on how fast the fault line came out, he's had that charged ready to go. The guard want to contest sewers and take control of that space, and from there, assuming they win out the battle in sewers, they'd just play retake as a team. 100 Thieves are contacting a split A pretty slow, and they for sure know that both Raise and Fade are on A. The guards see Asuna in sewers and they get ready to take the fight to him with the fault line that Net's been holding onto. With Asuna concussed, they take the fight to him, and I want to go frame by frame here. Asuna knows he's about to get pre-aimed, so he expertly moves to the left into an off angle. So that way, when Saya player peeks, his crosshair will be in the wrong position. This then causes an overcompensation, and Asuna's able to get the kill even though he's concussed. Now he gets traded by Trent, however Trent dies to the most skillful tech in the game, the jumping right click classic. And with a loose clear, sight is essentially theirs. They know Breach is playing off-site because of the angle the fault line came in. Chamber has a gun and range advantage in pistol round, so it's likely he'd be contesting a forward angle. And there's no sign of a second dark cover from Omen, so it's likely that he bought Paranoia, but because they hadn't seen it, it's likely that he's offside as well. Moving on to the post plant, 100 Thieves know that there is at least one player flanking and at least one player in CT. So you have Derek watching the flank, Will watching up heaven, and 2 people here with a crossfire on CT. As the wall's getting destroyed, the smoke goes up and both the Sage and the Omen take an aggressive position, getting ready to double swing the players in CT. Now Derek watching the flank spots the Omen and hears another player running up close towards him, which instantly causes Will to take a different position because he knows there's no one heaven. So he starts watching down long and will also reposition to watch sewers. A great fault line from net in CT concusses Derek in long, which allows them to get that kill, but in the process gets double swung in CT and gets traded out. With time running low, there's a great paranoia from Valen, however Jonah P is just a little too far back to capitalise, and unfortunately they come up short and 100 Thieves again win another pistol round. Also, a cool play to note was the plan to clear out A short from 100 Thieves. Fade has a C's lineup that lands in A short, and Asuna comes up through sewers and throws his nade. Unfortunately, due to the fault line and the oncoming aggression, the timing's just a little bit off and the play doesn't come through. Now this is really nitpicky, but in my opinion, the haunt from Trent was overthrown. There was too much time for Stella to react to it. If you throw it closer and assuming it doesn't die, it can reveal the player you're aggressing on and ensure the pre-aim is in a perfect spot. Alright guys, that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you'd like to see more esports breakdowns like this, please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me. Until next time, see ya!